In the east, there's a mist coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin. Can't put me finger on what lies in store, but I feel what's to happen, all happened before. A father, a mother, a daughter, a son. The threads of their lives are all raveling undone. Something is needed to twist them as tight as a string you might use when you're flying a kite. Chim chimney, chim chim, cherry chim cheroo.
Hurry up, Jane. Let's run. Come back here, you little blighters. You've got to do your lesson. I can't do my lessons if I'm flying a kite. And you can't make us. You're only a nanny.
Oi, not you two, Jane. Come along home. Oi, come here.
Good morning, Bert.
Good morning, Miss Lark. How's a little Willoughby today?
Oh, very well, thank you, Bert. Willoughby!
By Jove, is that the beauteous Miss Lark I spy on the horizon?
Oh, Admiral. Willoughby!
Morning, Admiral. How's it looking?
Dark clouds gathering at number 17. Storm warning overdue.
For London's byways where I doff me cap, this one's the hardest to find on the map. Cherry Tree Lane, as sweet as a song. The nannies who come here, they don't stay for long. Chim chimney, chim chim, cherry chim cherry.
Katie Nana! Katie Nana!
Those little beasts have run away from me for the last time.
Oh, and who gets stuck with the children with no nanny in the house? Me, that's who.
I said my say, Mrs. Brown, that's all I'll say. I've done with this house forever.
Well, good riddance then. And mind you don't stumble on your way out.
Well, good riddance then. Katie Nana, where are you going? Katie Nana! Mrs. Brill, what on earth is going on?
Katie Nana's gone, and is it any wonder? Driven half demented by your children's pranks.
Do you really think I made another blunder? What on earth am I to say to Mr. Banks? George, dear, I'm feeling so bereft, dear. Another nanny's left, dear. Every nanny goes, we're unlucky, I suppose.
We are never going to find a perfect nanny.
Nonsense! Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of our household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain. Whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Count! The simple truth is that you've engaged 6 nannies in the last 4 months and have all been unqualified. Disasters. A nanny should govern, a nanny should rule. A nanny is a paragon who suffers no fool. A nanny's a stalwart, our children would pain from having such a nanny in Cherry Tree Lane.
Of course, George, but...
So take control of situation. Show your authority when interviewing staff. You know your role, they know their stations. Efficiency and forethought cut the job in half. Briefcase.
I thought Katie Nana would be firm with the children. She always looked so cross.
Winifred, never confuse sufficiency with a liver complaint. Umbrella.
If only we could find someone like your old nanny, George.
I'm afraid that's not realistic, my dear. Few women alive could manage Miss Andrews' standards of efficiency. Besides, we could never afford a woman of her caliber anyways.
Precision and order, he wants nothing less.
It's like an army barracks.
Yes, and we're in the mess. No wonder the nannies are driven insane. We're living in a madhouse in Cherry Tree Lane.
Now, Winifred, if you do want to please me...
You know I do, George.
Very well, then place an advertisement in the Times stating that Jane and Michael Banks require the best possible nanny at the lowest possible wage.
We'd better give them ours before they make another mistake.
I would stress that.
Father, what's that you're holding, dear? We've written our own advertisement.
What on earth?
I think we should hear it, George.
Now, Winifred, none of your theatrics.
It won't hurt to listen. wanting a nanny for 2 adorable children.
Adorable. Well, that's debatable, I must say.
If you want this choice position, have a cheery disposition, rosy cheeks, no warts. That's the part I put in. Play games, all sorts. You must be kind, you must be witty, very sweet and fairly pretty.
Well, of all the ridiculous...
George, please. Take us on outings, give us treats. Sing songs, bring sweets. Never be cross or cruel. Never feed us castor oil or gruel. Well, never says a son and daughter. And never smell of barley water. I put that bit in too. If you won't scold and dominate us, we will never give you cause to hate us. We won't hide your spectacles so you can't see. Put toads in your bed or pepper in your tea. Hurry, Nanny, many thanks. Sincerely, Jane and Michael. Thanks.
That's quite enough tummy rub for one day. Now, will you please go upstairs and let me get to work?
They were only trying to help.
Won't help anyone to make me late. Where's my hat?
George, dear.
Hat!
Hat. I thought you put it down here. Hat. I'm sure a bowler hat can simply disappear.
You think they'll find a nanny who doesn't run away.
Ah, there it is.
Vision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain.
Whilst I remain the sovereign, mind to use the day well.
You remain the sovereign.
I shall be home at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains a sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Good morning.
Yes?
I've come in answer to the advertisement.
What advertisement? We haven't placed any advertisement. Not yet.
George and Winifred Banks live here, do they not?
Mr. and Mrs. Banks live here, yes.
And you are looking for a nanny?
Well, I suppose.
Very well then. Now let's see. Play games, all sorts, which I most certainly can. Take us on outings, give us treats.
Michael, it's our advertisement.
Rosy cheeks and fairly pretty. There's no objection on that score, I hope.
None at all.
I'm glad to hear it.
But take it up with Mrs. Banks. She manages all of that side of things. Nothing domestic has anything to do with me. And don't forget your references.
I make it a rule never to give references.
But I thought it was usual.
Oh, a very old-fashioned idea to my mind. The best people never acquire them now.
Oh, I see. You will have every third Thursday off from 5 until 9.
Oh, the best people give every second Wednesday from 6 till 8, ma'am. And that is what I shall take.
I see. Well, then it's all settled.
As long as I am satisfied, I'll see the children now, thank you.
Children? You'll find that they're very nice children. Come along, dears. Now this is...
Mary Poppins. Jane, don't stare. And Michael, close your mouth. We are not codfish. Best foot forward. Spit spot.
have a new nanny?
She passed her interview then.
Well, I did.
Very tidy, I must say. Tidier than I was expecting. Who's responsible for that?
Me. I am. I like to keep things neat.
Do you indeed? Well, I look forward to making use of that. If there's one thing I appreciate, it's a child whose word I can depend on. Who's he when he's at home?
That's Valentine. He's mine.
By the look on his face, I'm not quite sure he'd agree with you.
He's just a doll, and I don't want to play with him right now.
Treat him like that, and he might not want to play with you. Now, first things first. I always say the proper place to hang a hat is on a hat stand.
There's nothing in it. We'd better keep an eye on this one. She's tricky. Mary Poppins, how could you know what we wanted in a nanny when we made our list?
Your list. I'm not an item on the weekly shop, thank you very much.
How did you come then? It was as if the wind just blew your hair.
It did. Now stand over there. Just as I thought. A noisy, mischievous, troublesome little boy.
You're making that up. Noisy, mischievous.
Now you. Thoughtless, short-tempered, and untidy.
I don't believe you. Let me see.
By the time the wind has blown the weather vane around, I'll show you, if I can. No matter what the circumstance, for one thing I'm renowned. My character is spit, spot, spick, and span.
What about your measurement, Mary Poppins?
I'm practically perfect in every way.
Practically perfect.
So people say. Each virtue virtually knows no bound. Each trait is great and patently sound. I'm practically perfect from head to toe. If I had a fault, it would never dare to show. I'm so practically perfect in every way. Both prim and proper and never too stern. Well educated yet willing to learn. I'm clean and honest, my manner refined, and I wear shoes of the sensible kind. I suffer no nonsense, and whilst I remain, there's nothing else I feel I need explain. I'm practically perfect in every way. Practically perfect, that's my forte. Uncanny nannies are hard to find. Unique yet meek, unspeakably kind. I'm practically perfect, not slightly soiled. Running like an engine that's just been freshly oiled. I'm so practically perfect in every way. Well, those are my credentials. Perhaps you have a few questions.
Not temperamental,
Never.
not grouchy or gruff.
Oh, the very thought.
Will you stay tender when the going gets tough?
Quite the contrary.
Will you read stories without a big fuss?
Mm-hmm.
Or have objections to playing with us?
Ooh, I like games, but I choose them.
But that's not fair.
Minor improvements may not go amiss, but at all times you must remember this.
You're practically perfect in every way.
I guarantee
Practically perfect. We hope you stay.
no flies on me. Each virtue
chimney, chimney, chim cheroo. I does what I likes and I likes what I do. Today I'm a skeever, and as you can see, a skeever's an artist of highest degree. And it's all me own work from me own memory.
Hey, Lummy. What is again?
Oh, come on, Mr. Parkkeeper. It's just my paintings like it always is. There's no harm in them.
I'll be the judge of that. This is me, Park, and I say you're interfering with the public railing. I want to remove this. That is, just you watch it. That's all. Just you watch it.
Stay right where you are. Why, I'd know that silhouette anywhere. Mary Poppins.
It's nice to see you, Bert.
Well, I must say, you do look swell.
How does he know you? He can't know you. You've only just arrived.
I wasn't born 1 minute before I walked into your house, Michael Banks. Do you know these two, Bert?
I've seen them running about, chasing a kite.
It isn't a real kite.
So what are you up to then, I?
Mary Poppins says there's a game. It's called a walk in the park. Some game. I'd rather eat spinach.
Come along, Bert. You're due for a break. And you promised you'd take me out when we met again. Or have you forgotten?
Of course I ain't Mary, but...
Oh, dear. Is that all you've got? Never mind. My treat. And no one's charging for the trees in the sky, are they?
Mary Poppins, is he really coming with us?
Why shouldn't he?
Well, to start, he's very dirty, isn't he? Father would never approve.
Why, what's that?
You can't come with us. You're too dirty and we don't want to go to the stinky park anyway.
Oh, yes, you do. Because when you walk with Mary Poppins, you'll go places you never even dreamed of. And if she says it's a game, she's got something in mind. You can be certain of that.
That's a picture of the park, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the park. Not our park anyway. Look, that tree's a much brighter green and the sky is quite a different blue.
Well, I think you'll find it is just the way I've drawn it. All that it takes is a spark. Then something as plain as a park becomes a wonderland. All you have to do is look anew, then you'll understand why it's a jolly holiday with Mary. Mary makes your heart so light.
Oh, really?
Oh, when the day is grey and ordinary, Mary makes the sun shine bright.
You do talk nonsense,
Her
Bert.
happiness is blooming all around her. The daffodils are smiling at the
I haven't
dark.
the faintest idea what
When
you're talking
Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band.
You've enough for us, for all of us.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love. Oi, come on, you two.
Boring, just like other nannies singing. Parks are good for us. It's just such as ducks and grannies. I don't understand all the fuss. It's cheap doing it despite us. He could lose her for a look. Perhaps it's all a plot. I'll tell you what, she seems so different, but I bet she's not. There is nothing to excite us in the park. What was that?
You're quite wrong, you know.
What? Who are you?
I'm Nelius. Surely you know that. You sat beneath me often enough. I've waited over half a century to take a walk on a sunny day like this.
I need a glorious day, bright as the morning in May.
I feel like I can fly.
Have you ever seen the grass so green or a bluer sky?
Bluer sky.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. Better days I've never known.
You can ask the passing statuary.
Nothing's ever set
tip-top, top the town, if I might say so.
Thank you, Bat, and you may.
Each man out with his dog will stand agog to see our statue take a gentle jog. Oh, it's a jolly holiday, Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love.
It's a jolly holiday with you, Bat. Gentlemen like you are few. Though you're just a diamond in the rough, Bat, underneath your blood is blue. You'd never think of pressing your advantage. Forbearance is the hallmark of your creed. A lady needn't feel when you are near. Your sweet gentility is crystal clear.
It's crystal clear.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with you, child. A jolly, jolly holiday with you.
Let's go for a jaunty saunter. We are bound to make a mark. Looks like all of us are born to take a promenade in the park. Let's go for a jaunty saunter. We are bound to make a mark. Looks like all of us are born to take a promenade in the park. With our finely chiseled features, we can look down from above. When Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band. Oh, it's no wonder that it's Mary that we love. No wonder that it's Mary that we
Jane, did that really just happen?
Yes,
But how?
Mary Poppins, of course.
How do you know Mary Poppins?
Oh, she's an old friend of my father.
Your father? You're a statue. You can't have a father.
Well, if that's true, then why do I miss him so much?
Isn't he one of the other statues?
No, he lives far away from here.
Do you really miss him?
Wouldn't you miss your father if you hardly ever saw him?
I'll have to think about that.
That's it. That's it. That's what it was.
What?
The plinth is half empty. There's a statue missing.
Do you mean you've lost your marbles?
This is your fault, ain't it? I knew we should have trouble when you first arrived. Now we've got a statue missing. What? Oh, Lummy.
Will you play with us again?
Of course I will. I'm not going anywhere.
Then we'll see you soon. Goodbye, Nelius.
Goodbye.
Nelius must be so lonely. Could his father ever come to stay?
Anything can happen if you let it.
How long will you stay?
We'll see.
You won't leave us, will you, Mary Poppins?
I'll stay until the wind changes.
Well, good night, Jane. Good night, Michael.
Now run along in.
And good night, Mary.
Good night, Bat.
Jane and Michael want to say goodnight.
Tell them you've given me the message.
George, please. Oh, Daddy, we've had a fantastic day. We sang with the Bosca, danced with the statue, and met Queen Victoria. You wouldn't have approved,
If you know
but she...
that, then why did you do it?
Daddy, could I have a kite? A proper one?
Could you fly it?
Well, you could always teach me.
When would I have the time to do that?
Daddy, who was the father of Neleus?
Won't you please let me get on? Good night.
Poor Michael. All he cares about is flying kites and his beloved astronomy, of course.
I used to love astronomy at his age. My nanny, Miss Andrew, beat it out of me.
I suppose we do need a new nanny, George. It is out of the question to do without one.
Don't be absurd. Of course we need a nanny. All the best people have nannies, so their wives can do charity work and entertain. Which reminds me, how is your tea party coming on?
I'm not sure. It seems so odd to sound out invitations to people I hardly know.
But they're people you should know. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged.
But that's the point. They're not my friends. Actually, I heard from Clemmy Bunting today. She's rehearsing a new play at the moment, and I thought I might ask her
How many times must I tell you? I wish you to sever all connection with that part of your life.
George, I was an actress. Lots of people might find that interesting. Though you always seem to be ashamed of it.
Well, that's not exactly something to be proud of. Winifred, dearest, I'm only thinking of you. I want people to admire you, to respect you.
I know, George, but sometimes it's hard.
It's not hard, dear. It's your job. Be Mrs. Banks.
And what is your job?
To pay for everything. Are you going to say something to Mary Poppins about this afternoon?
I don't think so.
Very well. Just make sure she's doing things our way and not hers. What good old rules? You can bend them.
We need a man who is disciplined and stern.
With boys and girls, you don't befriend them.
I hear that Mary Poppins has a lot to learn.
Being Mrs. Banks should be an easy role, and yet it's one which I don't seem too good at on the whole. I have a comfy home, I have a simple life, I have a name which tells the world I'm someone else's wife. Being Mrs. Banks, what does that entail? Facing tests of character, I always seem to fail. And as for his best people, well, I'd like to say no thanks. They're not exactly my idea of being Mrs. Banks. I still feel as if I'm dreaming. Much fun and just one day when Mary holds your hand.
tides can turn, sink or swim, see what you learn. Me, I was told when I was small, just learn a trade, so I learned them all. Chim chimney, chim chim cherry.
Hey, Bert, swabbing the decks today, I see.
I gotta keep the street ship shape, Admiral.
Say, how are things aboard number 17? All smooth sailing with Mary Poppins, I trust.
Has some rough weather on every voyage, Admiral.
Ah, Miss Lark, what those children need is a touch of a cat and a night on the yardarm.
What those children need, Admiral, is a touch of happiness. Willoughby!
Don't make the sandwiches too early. They'll be stale before the guests arrive.
Everything is under control, ma'am.
And what about the cake?
Cooling on the train, waiting to be iced.
And you're quite sure you know how to ice it?
Quite sure. And in case you're worried, I haven't been exchanged by the fairies for a total nincompoop.
Well, I'll just go up and check the drawing room.
I'd like to be helpful.
Oh, and I'd like to be rich, but the good Lord thought otherwise.
Mother wants you in the drawing room.
Well, she can't have me. I've got enough on my plate as it is.
She says you can tell Roberts and I what to do.
Oh, does she indeed? Well, then why don't I go have a smoke near the gas works for good measure?
Really, Mrs. Brill, I don't mind, honest.
All right. I will give you one task and one task only. And so help me if you screw this up, I will swing for you and sing as they pull the lever.
What is it, Mrs. Brill?
Put the icing tools next to the cake. I'll need a bowl of hot water to warm them. I'll make the icing as soon as I'm back.
Icing tools, cake, hot water. I'll make the icing as soon as I'm back.
Now, do you think you can manage that?
Is that all?
For you, yes. For me, no. Once the cake's done, I have the sandwiches next because Madam wants them fresh, so I can't start them until there's no time to finish them. I swear, a slave in ancient Rome was on a pleasure cruise compared to my life in this house.
Well, don't just stand there, Roberts and I.
Right, no.
What are you looking for?
A bowl for the hot water.
Michael, why don't we make the icing?
Because we don't know how.
Don't be so feeble. Get the eggs. If Mrs. Brill can do it, it can't be that hard.
Are there eggs in icing?
They're on mine.
I don't think Mrs. Brill will thank you.
Then she will be guilty of great ingratitude.
Is it supposed to look like that?
It doesn't look like that when Mrs. Brill does it.
Don't be impertinent and get me the cake.
Honestly, Miss Jane, I was only trying to be helpful. If you would please...
Yeah! Mrs. Brill, go up and... What has happened? Roberts and I! Should I call a doctor?
I don't think that will be necessary, ma'am.
How can you be so unkind when you know how important my party is? You deserve some very nasty medicine. Just you wait till bedtime.
I don't think we shall wait till then, ma'am. Why not go up and get changed? We'll clear up, won't we?
But we're not ill. I won't take it and you can't make me.
In that, as in so many things, your information is faulty. Open?
But it's strawberry ice.
Now you.
I'm not sure I like strawberry ice.
I'm not sure I care. Open.
Lime cordial.
Now off we go, you two. Michael, I know you like to keep things neat. Jane.
I told you she was tricky.
Must we? Can't Roberts and I do it when he wakes up? He is a servant.
With that attitude, you'll go through a lot of stuff before you're very old. Besides, in every job that must be done, there's an element of fun. You find the fun and snap. The job's a game, and every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a life, a spree. sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. The honeybees that fetch the nectar from the flowers to the comb never tire of their buzzing to and fro, because they take a little nip from every flower that they sip, and hence they find their task is not a grind. Pour a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way.
Mary Poppins, you're a miracle worker. How did you get them to do it?
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
The medicine.
Go down, medicine.
Go down.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way.
So, just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
The medicine go down.
Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
In the most delightful way.
In the most delightful way.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Most delightful way.
Delightful in the most delightful way. Now off we go, you two. Jane, Michael, Spitzbot. I'm sorry, ma'am. Apparently these came in this morning and Roberts and I forgot to give them to you. They're apologies, ma'am, from your guests. They're not coming. None of them.
Do you think we chose the wrong day?
No, I think you've chosen the wrong people.
In the most delightful way. Mary Poppins, where are we going today?
I thought we could play our next game.
What game?
A visit to the bank.
That's not a game. Did Daddy agree?
If he did, you must have put the idea into his head somehow.
Oh, what an impertinent thing to say. Me, putting ideas into other people's heads. Really.
Precision and order, causing a wheel, opening a ledger,
Closing a deal, prudent investments,
financial sense, a perfect ray of sunshine, shillings and pence.
Great men have dreams of power and position, and it's our job to back them to the hilt. For shrewd investment and advice, they'll pay our price, the bedrock on which banks are built. Banks, a word?
Yes, sir.
I see Herr von Hustler is coming in again today. Have you made your decision?
I believe so, sir.
Good. Be sure it's the right one.
In every transaction, credit or debt, sheets are all well balanced, targets are met.
Herr Banks, what objections can you have? My security is more than adequate, and Latin America is an expanding market. What is the matter? Have you no courage?
Well, Mr. Von Hustler, what I haven't been able to grasp is what exactly is your final product?
What do you think? Money, of course.
Yes, money. But I wonder, making money out of money, is it enough?
Are you man enough to be ein banker? A man has dreams of building an empire to make his name in many distant lands. And in the new world, I am told, we'll soon strike gold. Let's seize that chance with both our hands.
Assessing the market, limit the risk. Is a room for error. Business is brisk.
Have you come to a decision, Mr. Banks? There's a ton of good people whose future depends on you.
I know that.
Give us this chance. You won't regret it. The factory could be running in weeks and expanding over the years out. Please, Mr. Banks. I'd give it everything I've got. Believe me.
I do believe you, Mr. Northbrook. And I've tried to find a way, but there's just not the collateral.
What about my workforce? Decent men who want a better life. They're my collateral. My men have dreams to earn an honest living, a wife and kids, a home to call their own. If you'd invest in us today, it paves the way. I promise we'd repay the loan.
I'm sorry, Mr. Northbrook, but I just... What on earth are you doing here? Can't you see I'm busy?
No, we're done. And no man should be too busy for his own children. And what are you here for, young man? Have you called for some money as well?
Hardly. What would they need money for?
Well, it's never too late to earn its value, to learn its value.
I know the value of this. 6 pence.
No, that's its worth. Its value is how you spend it. Do good, and may you have good luck.
And what do you say to Mr. Northbrook?
Thank you.
I'll wait outside.
What is the meaning of this? Really, Mary Poppins, I am not without a sense of humor.
Aren't you, Daddy?
No, I am not. But when I was a little boy, I would never have dared to interrupt my father.
Were you ever a little boy?
Of course I was, but my nanny, Miss Andrew, kept me out of my father's way. And he would have been very upset if she hadn't.
What about your mother?
I shouldn't think I saw either of them more than once a week.
Didn't they mind?
Mind? They were glad to be rid of me.
Then who kissed you goodnight? Miss Andrews?
Certainly not. There was no time for hugs and kisses and all that soppy nonsense. What's the matter?
Poor Daddy.
Poor? What do you mean, poor? That's what made me the man I am. Hey, Mary Poppins?
Yes, I'm afraid it did.
That's enough. You've seen where I work, and I have a great deal to do.
When you invest the bank's money, what you looking for, Daddy? A good man or a good idea?
I suppose I should say a good idea. But a good man is much rarer, much more valuable.
Come along, children.
Mr. Von Hustler, I've considered your arguments, but I'm afraid my answer is no.
So you don't recognize a good idea?
Perhaps not, but I recognize a good man when I see one.
You will regret it, Sir Banks.
A man with dreams that life hasn't broken. A man with hopes and visions to fulfill. A man you're certain at first glance deserves a chance.
Now, Mr. Northbrook, when exactly could the factory open?
Thank you, sir. You won't regret it.
the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
There's that horrible old woman.
Don't point. And she's not horrible in the least.
But she's just a bundle of rags.
When will you learn to look past what you see? Early each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes. In her own special way to the people she calls.
Come buy my bags full of crumbs. Come feed the little birds, show them you care, and you'll be glad if you do. Their young ones are hungry, their nests are so bare. All it takes is tuppence from you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead birds fill the skies.
What are you doing?
I'm going to give her my sixpence.
What a waste.
That's a matter of opinion. Here, one bag, please. Save your sixpence. All around the cathedral, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can see them, you know they are smiling each time someone shows that they care. Her words are simple and few. Listen, listen, she's calling to you.
Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
All gone.
Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
Oh, is that right? Well, here she comes now. You can tell her yourself.
Isn't that Miss Lark's dog, Willoughby?
Don't interrupt when someone's barking. You were saying? Oh, really? Well, if she keeps wandering off like that, perhaps you should keep her on a lead.
Willoughby!
Ah, look, here she comes now.
Willoughby, it's all right. Mummy's here. Willoughby, Willoughby! It's all right. Mummy's here.
You know, sometimes you'd almost think you could talk.
Bert, can Willoughby really talk?
Well, of course he can. Getting him to stop is the problem.
How do you learn to talk dog?
How do you think? Master the grammar
Practice when you can.
and avoid mongrels.
Far too much slang.
Now, come along, children. I can't stand here all day talking shop.
Talking shop? What a silly expression.
Oh, there's nothing silly about it in the least.
What do you buy in a talking shop?
Conversations, of course.
Well, I've never seen a talking shop.
Well, there is only one, and it belongs to Mrs. Corey.
Who's Mrs. Corey?
Who's Mrs. Corey? Why, Mrs. Corey's the oldest person in the world. She knew William before he went conquering, Vlad before he was impaling, and Alexander when he wasn't so great.
We'll have to call up at her shop in the park.
There is no shop in the park.
Remember, anything can happen if you let it.
at Mary Poppins with Jane and Michael Banks.
She knows us.
Good evening, Mrs. Corey.
And how is poor little Georgie?
Who?
Georgie Banks, your father. He used to give his nanny the slip and come into my shop here in secret.
It couldn't have been the same George Banks. That would have been 40 years ago. And nobody can remember back that far.
Listen, dearie, I remember everything. I remember George used to love my gingerbread. I wonder if we've got any left today. Annie, Fanny, look lively. Yes, Mother. There you are, gingerbread pieces with gingerbread stars. Georgie always saved his stars. Now, Mary Poppins, what can I do for you?
Well, I was hoping for an ounce of conversation.
I'm out of conversation, and I'm right out of words. I've had a lot of chatterboxes in here today. But let me see what we have left. I do have some letters and a little bit of back chat. An ounce, you say? That'll be 15 letters. Go on, take your pick.
Jane, you pick 7.
I've got a D, G, R, U, C, L, and I. They're no good. You can't make a conversation out of them.
Your turn, Michael. 7 more.
A, F, S, T, O, and P.
And I'll choose an X. Now what words can we make?
Well, I see dog and cat.
Routiplex, that's 9.
Lapitophoris. That's 11, nearly there.
Those don't count. You made them up.
And where do you think words came from in the first place? Someone had to make them up.
You know, we can always use the same letters more than once. Now let's see. Super, calid, fragilistic, expialid, ocious.
That's not a word.
Oh, of course it's a word. Unless I'm very much mistaken, I think it's going to prove a rather useful one. When trying to express oneself, it's frankly quite absurd to leaf through lengthy lexicons to find the perfect word. A little spontaneity keeps conversation keen. You need to find a way to say precisely what you mean. Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious.
It doesn't mean anything.
I mean whatever you want it to mean. When Stone Age men were chatting, simply grunting would suffice.
Oh, if they heard this word, they might have used it once or twice.
I'm sure Egyptian pharaohs would have grasped it in a jiff. Then every single pyramid would bear this hieroglyph. Oh, supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Say it and wild animals will not seem so ferocious.
Add some further flourishes, it's so precocious.
Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Um-diddle-diddle-dum-diddle-I, 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 um-diddle-diddle-dum-diddle-I.
The Druids could have carved it on their mighty monoliths.
The ancient Greeks, I'm certain, would have used it in their myths.
I'm sure the Roman Empire only entered the abyss because those Latin scholars never had a word like this.
Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious.
If you say it softly, the effect can be hypnosis.
Check your breath before you speak in case it's halitosis.
Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Um-diddle-diddle-dum-diddle-I, 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 um-diddle-diddle-dum-diddle-I.
You know, you can always say it backwards, which is so called live subsit siligaphilocrepus.
She may be tricky, but she's bloody good.
So when the cat has got your tongue, there's no need for dismay. Just sum it up this word and then you've got a lot to say.
Pick out those 18 consonants and 16 vowels as well, and put them in order, which is very hard to spell.
S-U-P-E-R.
my Pat. Same thing. If you like, you can sing along with us. You should know it by now. Heard it quite a few times. If you like, come on, give us a hand. Want to help? Come on. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 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 May blow, but who's to know exactly what it's bringing? The game is played, a change is made, the pendulum keeps swinging.
Now stand back. And you are never allowed to come near this vase. No, no one else but me neither. It is an heirloom.
Heirloom.
And while I do this, stay totally immobile.
Immobile.
Do not move a muscle.
Muscle.
Do not breathe. Do you hear me?
I might as well be dead.
Now don't give me any ideas.
A game is played, a change is made, but still the road is long, and though they might fly a kite, sometimes the wind's too strong.
George, what's happened? Are you ill?
No. Should I be?
Of course not. Only why on earth are you home so early? Is everything all right?
No. Everything's all wrong.
My dear, what is it?
If you must know, I refused some German chap alone. It seems he went to our chief rivals. They gave him the money and now he's turned it into a gold mine.
Well, they can't expect you to get it right every time.
Can't they? That's exactly what they expect.
Califragilisticexpialidocious. Even on the sound of it is
That is more than loud enough. Go to your room.
Oh, we were
I don't care what you adjust. Upstairs now. Where's my briefcase? I put it here. Michael,
Jane.
Will you give it to me? Must I put up with this behavior? You're their mother. Why can't you do something?
Well, I can try not shouting for a start.
Mary Poppins, you're here to teach the children manners. And just look at them. They're a pair of little savages. If I had my way, you'd be out of this house.
You're tired. Mary Poppins, don't bring the children down tonight. Mr. Banks is quite exhausted. Perhaps you can keep them occupied.
I hope you haven't forgotten, ma'am. Tonight's my evening out.
What? Oh, dear. I had forgotten. I suppose the best people wouldn't ask you to change your plans.
No, ma'am, they wouldn't.
I thought not.
It's not fair. Daddy loses his temper and was shut up in the nursery. Daddy's mean and rotten and I hate him.
Jane, you take that back this instant. I will not have you criticize your father.
Why not? He criticizes you. Last week I heard him say you were neither use nor ornament.
How dare you?
I heard him say it and so did you.
Sometimes people say things that they don't mean. Please bring the children upstairs, Mary Poppins. George.
What is it now?
I thought you might like to talk about it.
What would be the point?
Perhaps I can help.
Don't be ridiculous.
George, I'm serious. If you have troubles, I'd like to share them.
Don't worry. You will. Fact is, I've been suspended without salary until they decide what to do with me.
Twists and turns, ups and downs. One moment smiles, next moment frowns. No bad-tempered faces had better change quick, 'cause if the wind changes, peace might just stick. Chim chimney, chim chim, cherry chim cheroo.
It's not fair. You're going out and we get left on our own.
Oh, you've plenty of toys to play with.
I don't want to. They're boring.
They might say the same about you.
Why does Daddy get so cross? Fathers are supposed to look after their children, not yell at them all the time.
Maybe. But have you thought about who looks after the fathers when things go wrong?
The mothers, I suppose.
Not the children?
Wouldn't that be rather upside down?
Sometimes families are upside down. For a while anyways.
I don't want to be in an upside-down family. I wish I could run away. Why don't you? Somebody might adopt you. But you'd miss me. No, I wouldn't. I could have all your toys.
No, you could not.
Yes, I could, and I jolly well would. Give that to me. Now look what you've done.
That's no way to treat Valentine.
He's a
What's he ever done to you?
He's a doll, silly. He couldn't do anything.
That's all you two? Into bed. At once.
But we haven't had our milk.
There'll be no buts and no milk either. If you can't be good, you may as well be sorry.
I wish you'd just leave us alone.
Be careful of the things you wish for. Poor Valentine.
Well, I won't go to sleep and you can't make me.
And that, as in so many things,
your information
is faulty. Au revoir, Mary Poppins. Playing the game, taking your turn. Some children lose, some children learn. Treat the toys nicely and maybe they'll treat you the same. Playing the game. Are you feeling any better, Valentine?
Much better, thank you.
Tempers afraid, tempers are lost. Nobody stops to think of the cost.
But they tore my arm again.
Oh dear. Children who lose their temper will lose everything else in the end.
They're not playing the game, not playing fair, not with the doll, not with the bear. Thrown on the floor and neglected, and they were to blame. Playing the game. Please tell them, Mary Poppins.
Why don't you?
What's going on? What's happened to the toys? Make them go small and get back in their box.
Why? You've hurt them and called them names. Now it's their turn. Summon the toys. Now is the time to tell of their woes, to tell of their crime.
Crime.
Come on, come on. Enter the fray. They need to hear what you have to say.
Those girls and boys who treat us this way don't deserve fun. So why should we say they stamp and shout? Create such a fuss. They need to learn the value of us.
So,
You think you know everything.
I couldn't agree more. Jane?
They're our toys, and we'll do what we like with them. So there.
So that indeed. Playing the game, having a ball. Those who won't play shan't play at all.
Will we meet again
To play the game. Bert, is that you?
Up where the smokies are billowed and curled, between pavement and stars is the chimney sweep's world, where there's hardly no day, nor hardly no night, as things off in shadow and off ways at night, on the rooftops of London. What a sight.
So you're sweet now, are you?
Best view in the world, aye. And who gets to see it? The birds, the stars, and the chimney sweeps. There's nothing to beat it, aye. Now as the ladder of life has been strung, you may think our sweeps on the bottommost rung. Though I spends me time in the ashes and smoke, in this great wide world there's no happier bloke. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry, a sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry.
Good luck will rub off when he shakes hands with you.
Or blow me a kiss,
Bert?
and that's lucky too. You're leaving then?
The wind has changed.
But they're good kids, Mary.
Would I be bothering with them if they weren't? But there's no child so hard to teach as a child who knows everything.
So?
So, they have to do the next bit on their own. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry. When you're with the sweep, you're in glad company. Goodbye, Bat.
Chim, 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 cherry. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company. Nowhere is there a more happier crew than them what sings chim, chim, cherry, chim, cherry. Chim, chimney, chim, chim, cherry, chim, cherry.
Cheerio, Bat. Keep an eye on them for me.
She can't have left us. Oh, yes, she can, and she's taken all our toys. What does the note say?
What in the name of heaven are you two doing out here? Where's Mary Poppins?
Gone.
Gone. Well, if that doesn't take a bloomin' biscuit.
Mrs. Brill, what does au revoir mean?
Why?
Because that's what she's written in this note. Dear Jane and Michael, keep playing the games. Au revoir, Mary Poppins.
Well, it's French, I know that much. Does it mean good luck or God bless you? No, I remember now, till we meet again. Now come inside before you catch your death.
Mrs. Brill, is the nursery tidy?
As tidy as I can make it, ma'am.
If you knew how hard it was to track her down.
Or they get through nannies for a flippin' pastime. Now when one returns, they make this fearful fuss. Never liked her much when she was here the last time.
Please, she makes life easier for the both of us.
Mrs. Brill, it is her, isn't it?
Well, I don't see who else.
Why is this such a secret? Do you think that she's returned to get things back the way they were? The note says, till we meet again. I just know it must be her.
Oh my goodness, she'll be here any minute. Where's George? George, dear, you're going to be surprised, dear.
Winifred, you know I don't like surprises at the best of times.
Not this time. Oh, George, I do believe you're going to be proud of me for once. Precision and order, it's perfect. Each word can really make a difference. I found her for you. Clear thinking, sound judgment, and now we'll regain a home you can be proud of in Cherry Tree Lane. Hurry up, everybody. I wanted to find everything. Spit, spot, spick, and
Spick and span.
Our sense of excitement is hard to contain.
Order is returning.
Wonder is returning.
Someone is returning to Cherry Tree Lane.
Good morning.
The Holy Terror!
Miss Andrew, how lovely it is to meet you at last. I do hope you had a good journey.
It was thoroughly unpleasant. I never enjoy trouble. But you must be poor George's wife. Your flower beds are disgracefully untidy. Take my advice. Plant evergreens, or better still, have nothing there at all. Just a plain cement courtyard.
Oh, but Miss Andrew, I am so fond of flowers.
Then you are a very silly woman. Where'd George go?
I'm afraid he had a rather urgent appointment.
For which, no doubt, he was late as usual. It's not much of a house, is it?
We like it.
Then it doesn't take a lot to keep you happy. Look at the dust, there and there. Filth!
Well, we're rather short-staffed at the moment.
Hasn't anyone ever cleaned those curtains?
Now, just a minute.
But you must be the children. pity. I don't suppose you know who I am.
Yes, we do. You're the Holy Terror.
Impudent boy! You'll refer to me as Miss Andrews, and only as Miss Andrews. But you're Jane, I suppose. Why aren't you wearing your stockings?
I don't like them.
Tut! What manners! I see there's not a minute to lose. These children have been spoiled. I will wife you just in time. By chance I brought the parchment that best befits their crime. Brimstone and treacle and carnival oil, liberal doses of each. These are the tricks from which children recoil. The lessons I'm going to teach. Just hold here, my mortal, and don't mollycoddle. It may lead the irksome to irk. So seek satisfaction from punitive action. Brimstone and treacle will work upon.
Does it taste as bad as it smells?
Worse.
Do I have to?
Upon brimstone and treacle and carbolic soap. These are the tools of my trade. Full of sugar, you don't have a hope of seeing that changes are made. When one is a chronic, my tincture's the tonic that's certain to wipe off that smirk. So pour decoration in a matronly fashion. Brimstone and treacle will work. Your son will go to boarding school at once. As for the girl, I shall take charge of her myself. I won't stand for whining or whinging or whimpering, crying or lying or sobbing or whimpering. I think that in these such bad habits ready to throttle, then uncork a bottle. Brimstone and treacle will work. Now show me to my room. Brimstone and treacle will work.
Well, she can't stay. They'll have to dismiss her. You know, I never thought I'd say it, but I'm disappointed. I truly am. I really thought it was going to be, you know, her with the umbrella.
What are we going to do? The only thing we can do. Run away.
Oh, easy now. Your old burn ain't gonna hurt ya.
Oh, Bert, it's you. You're filthy.
Ah, perhaps a smudge or two. I am a chimney sweep. And what's the matter? Who's after you?
The nastiest nanny in the world.
The nastiest nanny in the world, aye? Well, you two should know. Been through enough of them. Is she really as bad as all that?
She looks like something that it eats young. Miss Andrew was Daddy's nanny, which explains a lot. Poor Daddy. Ever since he stopped working, he just sits and mopes. Mary Poppins used to say he needed a help, but now it's too late.
No, I wouldn't say that. Nah, how about we start things off with a bit of a shake for good luck?
Why would shaking hands with you bring us luck?
Didn't anyone ever tell ya? It's lucky to shake a sweep's hand.
What do you do if you want some luck?
Ah, well, I shake hands with myself. Now, what have we got here?
Michael, look! It's a real one! What's the matter? You've always wanted to fly a proper kite. I've always wanted to fly one with Daddy.
Well, of course you have. But you need to know how it's done. Get some training in. And then you'll make him the proudest father in the country.
Do you really mean that? You're not just saying it.
Did I say country? The whole bloomin' empire, more like. With tums for paper and strings, you can have your own set of wings. With your feet on the ground, you're a bird in flight, with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Oh, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite.
Try again.
Yeah, come on, try again.
What's this? What's this? We don't allow litter here.
It isn't litter, it's a kite.
Oh, my word it is. I haven't flown a kite since I was a boy. Now we'll wind her up, give her a run, and away she'll go.
But I want to do it.
But you'll let me help you, won't you? Seeing as I haven't flown a kite since I was a boy.
Oh, all right.
When you send it flying up there, all at once you're lighter than air. You can dance on the breeze over houses and trees with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite. Reel it in.
I can't, it's stuck. I'll help.
Let me.
Yeah, come on, all one more time.
I knew it, Mary Poppins. I knew you'd come back.
Oh, don't squeeze. I'm not a sardine in a tin. And where are your coats?
We didn't have time to put them on.
Why not, may I ask?
Because we've run away.
Have you indeed?
It's been so awful since you went away. And now Miss Andrews come, and Daddy's ruined, and we never helped him
On
like
my
you.
eye, your life's a tragedy. Now let's go home. And don't dawdle.
But she's there. She came this morning as a surprise for Daddy.
Oh, did she? Well, maybe I'll be a surprise for her. That was a lovely greeting, Bet.
I meant it, Mary. You're a sight for sore eyes.
You really are. Welcome back, Mary Poppins.
I told you they were good kids, Mary.
And I told you they were worth bothering with.
Now see here. It's against the regulation coming out of the sky like that. And where from, eh? I'd like to know. Where from?
If I were a policeman, I should straighten my cap and button my coat.
Aren't you going to shake hands with Bert for luck?
No,
Why not? We have.
I don't need any luck. Thank you very much. Now let's go home.
Illusions may shatter, but memories stay. The things that really matter I lost on the way. The sovereign, the master, and long may he reign. The fame's good for nothing of Cherry Tree Lane.
They'll find their way home in no time, Mom. Let's face it, they've had enough practice.
I'm afraid this time they're not just being naughty. I'm afraid I've made them unhappy. I'm afraid I've made everyone very unhappy.
They'll turn up, Mom. Don't you worry.
George, dear, I know it hurts your pride, dear, but you can't just run and hide, dear. Why can't you see that I am here? And I am on your side. Whenever you spoke of Miss Andrew, you showered the woman with praise. But now that I met dear Miss Andrew, there are one or two things I'd rephrase. To think you were raised by that monster and carried that burden through life. If only you had seen that you could share it with your wife. Being Mrs. Banks, it's easy to forget the way I felt that summer's day, the day that we first met. Being Mrs. Banks, being kissed by you, a man of dreams who made me feel that wishes could come true. And now, although you're lost, it's time that we closed ranks. I'll fight for the man who needs freeing, the real you no one is seeing, and you'll find a way of just being Mr.
Perhaps she's killed everyone. Perhaps they're all dead.
Not like that, you stupid boy!
Well, they're not all dead. What's that noise?
It's a bird. I might have known. Did she? Well, frankly, that's not a surprise. Locked in this cage and not free in the skies for 2 years. How shameful. Yes, of course, that's a field I know well. And now we're no longer, your wings will grow stronger once you are free from the cell.
What kind of bird is it?
It's a lark. You sing a lark in a cage for the first time and the last. My pleasure. Oh, don't mention it.
I'm going downstairs to fetch Caruso, my lark. You stay there and clean that grate again. Ah, so you decided to come crawling back, have you? Well, I think we know what's needed now. Brimstone and treacle, my favorite liquor, that will make runaways stop. Impudent children respond so much quicker when forced to drink every last drop.
Is this what you're looking for?
Who are you?
I'm Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins? But you left without notice.
And I've come back without notice.
I see. And what do you expect me to do?
Pack.
Pack! You insolent young person! How dare you speak to me this way? Silly little girl with your newfangled methods. I bring up children so they know their place. Standing for tradition, I commit my charges.
Mishandled charges blow up in your face.
I brought up their father.
Well, that I don't doubt. You must be so proud of the way he turned out.
A shining example of pillar.
A post. They all have their problems, but him more than most.
Caruso! Where's my lark? Caruso! My little lark out of his cage. Now you will bear the full brunt of my
Poppins, wherever did you come from?
She came from
Michael?
Michael! Jane, is that you? Oh, thank heavens. But you were very naughty to go running off like that. And I should be angry as anything if I weren't so pleased to see you. Where's Miss Andrew?
Well,
She's gone.
Gone? How peculiar. So, Mary Poppins, if you're back, are you going to stay?
I'll stay for as long as necessary, ma'am.
Because the last time you were here, you left without a word of warning. How do I know you won't do it again?
You don't.
Oh.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm sorry I bothered you, Constable. But everything's quite all right. They're back and...
Not all of them, Mum.
What?
Found this one wandering in the park.
George.
Good night, Mum.
Where is she?
Miss Andrew? She left.
Left? But how?
She might have thought we were rude.
Rude? To Miss Andrew? Well, I can't forgive it. But I'll forget it. In fact, I'd have given you a sixpence if I had one.
George, you haven't noticed. Mary Poppins is back.
Is she? Well, I wonder if I might have a word. Things haven't gone very well for us since you left, Anne.
About my wages, sir? I won't take any just now. I should prefer to let them accrue.
But Mary Poppins, if you only knew how many were accruing as it is.
Is everything all settled?
Yes. Now I must get started. Jane, Michael, Spitspot. Are the pipes playing up, or is that Mrs. Brill's cooking?
Come along, darling. You made a wrong decision, but how bad can that be? After so many years of good service, what's the worst that can happen?
Winifred, if I'm to be dismissed by the bank, we'll be destitute. The servants will leave. The house will be repossessed. We'll be with the children sitting on the frosty curbside.
We'll still have what really matters. The children and each other.
Practically perfect in every way.
I guarantee.
Practically perfect. We hope you'll stay.
Let's wait and see. Uncanny nannies are hard to find. Unique yet meek, unspeakably kind.
You're practically perfect.
And yet I'm sure there's still room for improvement. A few names more.
Is that locket new?
And if it is,
What's inside it?
a portrait.
Whose?
You'll know when the time comes and not before.
You won't leave us this time, will you, Mary Poppins?
I'll stay until the chain breaks.
Hello there.
Bet, what are you doing up here?
Where else should a chimney sweep be? A chimney swept, a secret kept, up here above the gables, another world to be unfurled. It ain't just myths and fables. A chimney stack looks cold and black against the twilight sky, but never fear, there's warmth up here. Perhaps you'll find out why.
How do I look?
No, that's better.
The world's awfully big, isn't it?
And what does that tell you?
That we're awfully small and unimportant.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Not us so much, but our troubles. They seem so big down in the nursery, but up here...
Oh, that's more like it. It always helps to look at your troubles from a little higher up. And never forget there's plenty of folk to step in should you need them.
Who?
Chim-chimani, chim-chimani, chim-chim-cherry. They're guardian angels you don't often see. They're not highfalutin, nor grand nor aloof. Nah, they're covered in soot and they're up on your roof.
Chim chimney, chim chim cherry.
See, it's true.
Brush away the dirt and soot.
Cobwebs that are swept away.
Hang around for years.
Even when there's a house, we can see for miles. Our idea of heaven is a night out on the top. We will come as we cruise. Such guitar and much guitar and cry. When you need a helping hand, we try to step in, just in time.
We will step in.
Step in time.
We will step in.
Step in time.
Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Over the rooftop, step in time. Over the rooftop, step in time. Over the rooftop, step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Over the rooftop, step in time.
Once you step in time. Once you step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Once we step in time. You need a step in time. You need a step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. You need a step in time.
Childhood is a step in time, parenthood's the same.
Never miss our chance to get it right. Don't it seem a perfect crime? Don't it seem a shame? When the steps aren't going as smoothly as they might. Oi, come on, you two! That's when you step in time. That's when you step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. That's when you step in time.
Spin, spin.
Special delivery, sir.
Special delivery? It's happened. The chairman wants to see me at the close of business tonight.
Tonight? Well, I'm going to come with you and jolly well give your chairman a piece of my mind.
That would only make matters worse, darling. We might as well face it. In a few hours, I will have joined the ranks of the unemployed.
George, are you quite sure?
Quite sure. In fact, we'd better make some plans.
Do you mean your mother's vase? Won't you miss it terribly?
Needs must, my darling. We always said we were saving it for a rainy day. Tomorrow I'd like to set to pour.
Roberts and I, how many times must I tell you, you need to be careful? The other.
Come on, Mrs. Brill, let's go to the kitchen. You need to sit down.
Mrs. Brill, is that the dinner cooking?
Now don't you start. I've already opened all the
only
windows.
going to say it smells delicious.
The whole world has gone upside down.
Well, I never.
Where are they?
Stars. Gingerbread stars I hid once from my nanny. I always knew I'd put them somewhere no one would find them. Trouble was, I couldn't find them either.
They're very bright.
Aren't they? Even after all this time. I used to dream that when I grew up, I'd learn everything there was to know about the stars. Funny, I haven't thought about all that in years. I'm not usually so sentimental.
It's good to look back sometimes.
Is it? I'm not so sure. A man has dreams of walking with giants to carve his niche in the edifice of time. Before the mortar of his zeal has the chance to conceal, the cup is dashed from his lips. The flame is snuffed a warning. He's brought to rock and ruin in his prime.
Life's a rum go, governor. That's the truth.
You know what I think? I think it's Mary Poppins. From the moment she stepped into this house, things began to happen. My world was calm, well-ordered, exemplary. Then came this person with chaos in her wake. And now my life's ambitions go in one fell blow. It's quite a bitter pill to take. Is that Poppins woman? She's responsible for all this.
I know the very person. What's that thing she's always saying? A spoonful of sugar, that is all it takes. It changes better water into tin cakes. A spoonful of sugar goes a long, long way. So have yourself a healthy helping every day.
A healthy helping of trouble, if you ask me.
Like you say, governor, you've got to grind, grind, grind at that grindstone. Though childhood slips like sand through a sieve, and all too soon they've up and grown, and then they flow, and it's too late for you to give just that spoon of sugar to help the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Well, good luck, governor.
Thank you, Bert. Good luck to you, too.
Father,
What is it?
we've come to say goodnight.
Ah, yes. Night, Jane. Night, Michael.
Daddy, do you remember when we came to the bank?
Yes?
Well, we were each given a sixpence and were told to spend them carefully.
Excellent advice. That's exactly what you should do. What did you buy with them?
Nothing yet. We kept them, and now we've decided to give them to you.
I suppose Mary Poppins put you up to this?
No, she hasn't said a word about it, but we know it's been difficult for you lately, and we haven't really been much help.
So we thought a bit of extra cash might loosen things up a bit.
It is a whole shilling.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, good night. Go.
Good night, Daddy. We do love you, you know.
Jane, do you remember you once asked me who the father of Neleus was?
Yes.
It is Poseidon, king of the sea. Good night.
Mommy, Daddy's really worried, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But always remember that he loves you very much. And that's far more important than jobs or houses or anything else.
Are you going to the bank with Daddy?
I'd wish he'd let me. But he won't. If only there was someone to stand up for him, to take his part, to show them what he's really like on the inside.
Why can't he do that for himself?
Because he's a man. And a very proud one.
Then you must go.
I wish I could. But I'm afraid it just isn't possible.
Why?
Because I am a woman.
Mary Poppins says anything is possible if we can only get out of our own way.
Do you really believe that, Mary Poppins?
Anything can happen if you let it. Sometimes things are difficult, but you can let it. Doesn't have to be so.
Changes can be made. You can move a mountain if you use a larger spade.
Anything can happen, it's a marvel.
You can be a butterfly or just a larval. Stretch your mind beyond fantastic. Dreams are made of strong elastic.
Take some sound advice and don't forget it. Anything can happen if you let it.
I wonder.
Anything can happen if you let it. You won't know a challenge until you've met it. No one does it for you, no one but yourself. Vacillating violets get left up on the shelf. Anything can happen, just imagine.
That should be my epitaph. I wear the badge and honor of the world's free thinkers.
Those who see beyond their blinkers. Jelly isn't jelly till you set it. Anything can happen if you let it.
If you reach for the stars, all you get are the stars. But we found a whole new spin. If you reach for the heavens, you get the stars thrown in. The birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds, sir, only tuppence a bag.
I would take it as a great favor if you would kindly feed them for me.
Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
Thank you. Thanks. How did it happen? You turned down a scheme that was bound to make millions, and I want to know why.
Then I'll tell you. I refused Mr. Von Hustler's scheme because it was hollow. Had no product, no substance. Had no meaning outside the walls of a bank. Oh yes, he told me about assets and profits and growth, but there wasn't a word about people. I know that if a man puts any value on real life, then as far as you're concerned, he's a washout. But I'm afraid I do value it, sir. In short, George Banks, Esquire, has rediscovered the human race. I apologize for ruining the bank, sir, but I do not apologizing that there are more important things in life than making money.
Ruining the bank? Ruining the bank. My dear chap, haven't you heard? Von Hustler's scheme has ruined our rival. You've kept us out of the nastiest scandal since records began. I'm not asking for my apologies. I'm offering mine.
Oh, my word.
And another thing. Do you remember giving a loan to a fellow called Northbrook? Well, he's repaying it and opening 2 new factories with the percentage you negotiated. We look set to make a fortune.
Oh, my word.
Well, that's just it. I was very much hoping you would tell me how you did it. Just give me the word. It'll be quite safe.
Give you the word. Give you the word. I'll give you the word, all right? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Sir, thank you.
Now, Banks.
Forgive him. It's not his fault. It's all because of his nanny, Miss Andrew.
The Holy Terror. She taught me everything I know.
Then now's your chance to forget it.
That's right. And if you want to fight about it, you've come to the right woman.
It's all right, darling. It's all right. I haven't lost any money at all. I've made the bank a fortune.
Really?
Madam, if you please, we still have some business to conduct. Thanks. George, by way of recompense, I'd like to offer you the job of senior manager, with salary at double.
Excuse me, how much has he made for you?
Triple. Quadruple your present rate.
Close your mouth, George. We are not a codfish.
Well?
I accept. But you must understand one thing. From now on, my family comes first.
Agreed?
Agreed. I'm afraid I've underestimated you. How can you forgive me?
How can you ask?
It was selfish of me to keep you off the stage. You'll want to go back, and I won't mind if you do.
No, I loved it. But I found a role I much rather prefer, and it's going to keep me extremely busy for a very long time.
Anything can happen, raise the curtain. Things you thought impossible
will soon seem certain. Though at first it may sound clownish, see the world more upside downish. Turn it on its head, then hear where it is. Anything can happen if you let it.
If you reach for the stars, all you get are the stars. But we found a whole new spin. If you reach for the heavens, you get the stars thrown.
Get the stars thrown
I want the constellations too.
Do you indeed? I wonder you don't ask for the moon as well.
If you reach for the stars, all you get are the stars. But we found a whole new spin. If you
To be up in the heavens, do you think we'll ever go back there?
Yes, someday.
Really? Will it be soon?
Oh, no, not for a very long time. Besides, you can always keep an eye on the stars.
But it's your telescope.
So it is. Keep it if you like. It's a present.
Thank you.
Now run along home, it's getting cold.
I love you, Mary Poppins.
I love you too, Michael Banks. Those are dainty, Bet.
I painted it, Mary, just for you. It's tonight, isn't it?
Yes, Bet.
Well, goodbye then, Mary Poppins.
Goodbye, Bet. Bet, take care of yourself. Every job, when it's complete, there's a sense of bittersweet. That moment when you know the job is done. Though in your heart you'd like to stay to help things on their way, you've always known they must do it alone. Practically perfect, and I hope it remains.
What's happened? Something's changed. The bag's gone. Look, it's Mary Poppins' locket. Oh, the chain's broken. Remember, I'll stay till the chain breaks.
There's a note, too.
What does it say?
Michael had the telescope, so this is for you. It's a picture of the three of us.
Signed from Mary Poppins, with a great deal of love.
Mary Poppins. She's gone. Gone? How peculiar.
She'll be back. For now, what do you think of this?
It's the best I've ever seen.
We fly together?
Oh, Daddy.
Mary Poppins won't be coming back. She's gone forever. My dear, how could you possibly know such a thing? Because we don't need her. Not anymore. And other families will, won't they, Daddy?
That's right, Jane.
I wonder if she's right, George. We really could do without a nanny from now on. What do you think?
You know what I think? I think you better come and dance with me.
George, this is serious.
Is that a shooting star?
We can use my telescope.
I was right, wasn't I? We shall not children. My dearest love.
Choreographed.